Okay, everybody. So, rather than pick up where we left off at school, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna start a brand new design challenge today. So, for design and tech and advanced design and innovation, you're actually gonna have the same assignment. So, when you go to my homepage of my website, which I've changed to my home instruction page of my website, you're gonna click on the link to whichever class you're in. So, in this case, for design and tech and advanced design and innovation, it's gonna take you to the same place. And what you folks are going to be doing is you're going to be working on the LHS dorm room challenge. And this is a project I've done for a few years now that students usually like. And I just thought it really fit with the type of instruction that we're going to be doing. So, what you're being asked to do, and what this is a photograph of, is this is a photo of the dorms at SUNY Oswego, or at least that's what they looked like when I went there. This is Hart Hall, and what you're being asked to do is come up with several different configurations or possible configurations that are better than the default configuration for a dorm. So when you first move into your dorm room, this is kind of what it looks like, and there's clearer images of this too. But you walk in and it's basically a closet, or in this case it's a wardrobe, so this is movable. You have a desk, and then on both sides here you have a twin bed with a couple of dressers underneath, and that's it. So you're going to come up with something better using the furniture that comes with the room. So if you click on this first PDF, this really walks you through the whole assignment. So again, for this design challenge, you're imagining it's your first day of college and your new roommate hasn't arrived yet, which means it's your opportunity to arrange your dorm as you seem fit. The current setup, while conducive to studying and sleeping, does not offer opportunity for much else. So, this 13-foot by 15-foot room is going to be your home for the next 9 months. So, it's important that you make it your own. So, in other words, you got there first. You get to do whatever you want with this room, and your roommate's going to kind of have to deal with it. So, consider the filing guidelines when you're configuring your room. You can't remove any of the stock furniture, so whatever's in the room has to stay in the room. You can't permanently attach items to the walls, so you can't use screws or nails. Nothing can hang from or be attached to the ceiling. And the room has to follow and serve the following 4 functions. You have to have a study area, so you have to have a computer, a printer, and a space to write. You need sleeping quarters, so you have to have a mattress that's free from obstruction, so you can't, put stuff on top of the mattress. Entertainment, so the room must be equipped with some type of media. So it might include, but it's not limited to, a TV, a stereo, and or a collection of books. And last, you need food storage or preparation. So you need a refrigerator. You could have, if you wanted, a microwave and other small appliances, but they're not required. But at least you need a fridge. So that's kind of the overview of the project, and the way that you're going to be kind of showing me how you solve this problem is on the next page. And this is actually day 1 are these 2 steps. This is what I'm asking you to do today. So first you're going to identify and define the problem. So you're going to explain in your own words what problem I'm asking you to solve. So for advanced design and innovation students, that's going to be a problem statement and a design statement, and you know the format for those. For design and tech, just answer the question in your own words, right? So explain, what I'm asking you to solve. And then you're going to list your constraints. So again, when we talk about constraints, they're the rules, right? They're the things that you can't do, and they're the things that you must do. So for this project, you're going to go back to this first page. You're going to identify and you're going to list all of the things that you have to take into consideration to solve this problem. So after that, and this is a multiple day, potentially multiple week project. So after you've identified and defined the problem and you've listed the constraints, the next stage is going to be brainstorming. So you're going to use a model in SketchUp that I have provided for you. And if you want to come up with hand-drawn sketches to kind of help you plan for this, you can. But really, because we're doing this remotely, you can just kind of jump right into SketchUp if you want. You're going to come up with 4 different solutions that are all viable. So 4 solutions that meet all of the constraints that you need to identify. Basically, 4 different ways that you can solve this problem. And then to outline the solution, normally we would do this in a layout document, but we're gonna do it in a PowerPoint, and we'll use screenshots, and it'll still look good even if it's not formally done in layout. And then again, to create a presentation-worthy display of your optimal solution. In other words, we like to showcase which of our 4 solutions we think is the best one. We're gonna make that very clear in the PowerPoint. So basically, in the PowerPoint, it's gonna show a progression. It's gonna show your 4 brainstorming models, and then it's gonna show which of those 4 is your best solution, and then you're going to explain why that is your best solution. So in that same PowerPoint, you're gonna identify and you're gonna explain the trade-offs that you have to make. So when we talk about trade-offs, we're talking about those things that you might have had to sacrifice in order to make something else happen. So I think one of the the easiest trade-offs to point out in this challenge, I actually have on the website. So for this kind of modular furniture that comes with with your dorms, allows for different configurations for your beds. So for example, and I just included 2 of these here. So let me try to zoom in here. So for this kind of bedroom furniture, this dorm furniture, you have 3 options for the beds. You can leave the beds alone. You can leave them exactly as they are. You can loft your bed, which is what's pictured here. So it's like a bunk bed that's missing the bottom bunk, and that leaves room to slide a desk underneath or slide your dressers. You can put a futon or a couch under there, the beanbag chair, a lot of options. So you could loft the bed, and you can do bunk beds. So, or you can just, again, like I said, leave them separate and leave them on the lower level here. So if you were to do a bunk bed, for example, I think this is the easiest trade-off that we usually point out. Is in this case, what you're sacrificing is probably convenience and comfort, especially for the person that's on the top bunk. And when you bring this into SketchUp and you see what the ceiling heights look like, you'll see that there's not much room here. If you sit up too fast, the first couple of days that you're on the top bunk, you probably forget when you first wake up, and you might hit your head on the ceiling. That's a drawback. But what you're gaining is you're gaining all of this added space to the room. So if you choose to use bunk beds, one of the trade-offs I definitely expect to see in your PowerPoint that you point out that that you had to deal with is sacrificing maybe like convenience and of course having to climb up and down the ladder every time you want to get into the top bunk. But what you're gaining, right, for your trade-off is you're gaining a lot more space in the room. So you're going to be identifying all the different trade-offs that you've made for your optimal solution. Now back to the website. So we have the PDF that kind of walks you through the entire project. So you're going to be referring back to that a lot. Just a couple of different configurations that are possible for the bed. And I do have an example of student work that's a little bit different than what yours is going to look like. Sometimes when we do this project, we make physical models of it. We're not, in my classroom right now, so I don't see this being a solution that we're going to, go forward with. But we will, and you can see on the bottom here, there's some printouts from their SketchUp models. We will come up with different configurations in SketchUp. We will, and I don't know how much I can zoom in on this. I cleared these out, because you got to come up with these on your own. But again, identifying the problem. So advanced design and innovation, that's problem statement and design statement. Design and tech, it's just kind of sum up what is the problem I'm asking you to solve. You're going to list your constraints, identify your trade-offs. We're just not going to be doing this physical model. Unless, of course, we come back to school in time and we're still working on this project, then this becomes a possibility. But again, here we have a different configuration, right? This is one of the 4 configurations that this student came up with, a different configuration than what is, kind of the default. And you'll see what the default configuration is with this final file. And this one is called heart.skp. This is a SketchUp file, and Hart Hall is the name of the dorm room, which is why, why the file is named this. So what you're going to do is, when you're actually ready to get started on this, once you've identified the problem, once you've identified and listed your constraints, the next step is going to be to download this actual SketchUp file. And then you're going to save it, to your computer, to, whatever folder or file you want. So mine's already in downloads, so I'm not going to save it twice. All right, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how to bring that file into SketchUp free, so you can actually start working on it.